All right, what's up, YouTube? False back with another video today. Today, I'm going to be reacting to Pat the Designer from ESPN 1000. I'm calling him out because I strongly disagree with his take that David Kaplan said about why don't Bears fans want to be great? Why don't we want greatness? Why do we keep banging our head against the wall wanting the same thing? Personally, I'm of the mind of we should have let everybody go this off season, but we're sticking for some reason. We're doing half measures, sticking with Eberflus and Justin. I think personally, all three of them should have been gone. Eberflus, Justin, and Getsy. But let's hear his take so we can address it here, and we'll comment.
Bear down, Bears fans. Pat the Designer, Chicago Bears podcast. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with us, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I want to jump pretty much straight into this because this is an interesting topic for me. Right, the Justin Fields, Caleb Williams conversation that is happening has created such an animosity in Bears fans, in the Bears community, and it seems like people are just too far one direction or the other. And I want to add some context and some clarity to maybe why people might be in on Justin Fields, but why people also should look at the Caleb Williams option as a possible viable option. David Kaplan on ESPN 1000, Cap and J Hood Show. Tune in 7 to 10.
And that's the first thing right there. I don't like that in the middle thing. I'm gonna try to play both sides so I don't have to make a decision and say I'm right either way. Make a decision and stand by it. Doing the same damn thing that freaking Polls is doing.
And every morning, love what he's doing. Love how he's been so passionate on the radio for all this time. Came out with a very hard stance against Bears fans, and I'm here to defend that section of Bears fans. Came out with a very hard stance against Bears fans defending Justin Fields and why they're so afraid to go in and talk about greatness. I'm gonna let Cap's rant play. And I want everybody to hear it because I don't want to paraphrase anything that he's saying. I'm not going to play the whole thing. There's probably a 3 to 4 minute section in here where I think pretty much surmises in the beginning what he says throughout the entire clip. Make sure to check the clip out over on the ESPN Chicago YouTube if you want to see the full clip as well. We'll have that linked in the description below. But I want you guys to hear kind of where he's coming from. And then I'm going to sit here and tell you where me as the Bears fan who does like Justin Fields is coming from.
I want to know from everybody out there, what are you so afraid of? The ones of you that are clinging to Justin. Does not mean he's not a good player. Does not mean he's not a good guy.
Exactly.
Why are you so scared to embrace the chase for greatness? When you go out and you go, boy, I'd really like to meet somebody and get married and have a family or at least be in a relationship, you don't take the first person that comes along and go, she's okay or he's all right. You don't. You strive to find love. I don't mean Jordan. Why are you so afraid of embracing greatness? Why? There's this kid coming along that every one of the analysts, even guys that did this for a living in the league, that kid's amazing. Got to be developed. Of course he does. I want to keep Justin. You have the maybe the two best quarterbacks in the NFC playing our division. All I know is they're still standing. Goff, he's taken one team to a Super Bowl. Now he's got another one on course to maybe do that. Jordan Love, his first year as a starter. He's the best quarterback in the NFC potentially. Kirk Cousins, better than any quarterback we've ever had. That means we're fourth in a 4-team division. Doesn't mean that Justin's not a good kid and a talented player. Why are you so freaking scared to chase greatness? Do we not deserve it as a fan base? We've been tortured for so many decades without a quarterback. And now the one that they're saying is generational, and you are freaking out on social media, calling shows. We can't take that kid. He stinks versus the top 25. That's not an accurate statement. everybody who does this for a living. I'm not talking about somebody who's wearing polyester in a press box eating free food. I'm talking about guys in the league. Dude, it's not even a decision. That kid is outstanding. You got to develop him. You better put a plan in place. Why are we so scared for some of you? It's like you're cheating on your wife if you give up on Justin. Hey, sweet mother of God. We may be touched by greatness. Maybe not. He might bust. That's what happens when you chase greatness. It might not work. But it is a no-brainer decision to go down the path and let the GM do all his homework. No, we could trade it for 72 draft picks and have this guy and that guy. Guess what? If you have a Lamborghini and you got the best stereo system and you put these beautiful Corinthian leather seats in and you got these brand new yellow calipers that glisten off the sports car, if the engine doesn't work, the car doesn't run. We're not good enough at the most important position. He's going into his 4th year, and you've been touched by this gift card, as Dan Wiederer put it. Hey, Carolina gave you a gift card for Christmas. Oh, it's the #1 pick, and the best quarterback to come out in a while happens to be sitting there, and you don't want him? You're an idiot to not do the homework. Thank you.
Great rant. Let's start there. Great rant. I love it. I love the passion. I love the fire. I love the fury. Cap's been bringing that for years. Everybody knows that about him. Here's my question to you, Cap. And here's my question to the section of Bears fans that is overly in love with Caleb Williams. What changed? Because Cap said on those very airways that he didn't believe that Caleb Williams was a good enough leader, that he thought Caleb Williams had leadership issues, that he didn't like what he was as running the team, right? What changed? And this is not to say Caleb Williams isn't talented. This is not to say Justin Fields doesn't have things that need to improve. 110% he does. And the one thing that Cap said in there that I 100% agree with is do the homework. But let's not.
Well, let's start off with this. That's hearsay. How do you know he's not a great leader? How do you know he won't be a great leader here? You're just assuming that he won't be a good leader. The kid hasn't even played a snap of NFL football, and we're already putting a cap on him. If he comes to the Bears, he will prove if he's a leader or not by his actions on the field and off the field. I'm not going to sit here and say he's predetermined to not be a good leader and therefore he's not going to be a good draft pick at #1 overall and the team's going to bust with him. No.
Not change our opinion because we saw Jordan Love and we saw Jared Goff, 2 guys that we knew at this point.
Yes, that should change your opinion. Jordan Love in his first year of starting beat the Bears twice. He might be the new king of the North, quote unquote. Green Bay still owns us. And that should be disgusting when Justin's a 3-year starter and he's been sitting on the bench for 3 years, Jordan Love, and came in and beat us twice and is in the playoff right now. We're not. Said Jared Goff was out with the Rams. Look where he is now in the playoffs. In what, less than 2 years with Dan Campbell? That's a problem.
We're in better situations than Justin Fields because, see, here's the thing. What are now called excuses for Justin Fields will be the same things that we talk about for the next 3 years with Caleb Williams as well. You have to let him go through the process and figure it out. You have to let him deal with a struggling offensive line.
It's been 3 years with Justin, Pat. If you still have to ask the question in year 4, in year 5, you have the answer. He's not the guy. He may be somewhere else. He may not. But he's done. The damage has been done. Despite everything that's happened that may or may not be his fault. He has partial blame in the situation as well because he hasn't been perfect. But it's time to move on.
line that your right guard is out for certain. He's got to figure out how to deal with that. The center can't snap the football to you. He's got to figure out how to deal with that. Your left tackle is getting pushed back into you. He's got to figure out how to deal with that. And is some of that on Justin? 100%. He holds the football too long. He big play hunts. I'm never going to tell you that Justin Fields doesn't need to improve. You know why? Because Justin Fields wouldn't tell you that Justin Fields doesn't need to improve. But to me, when you're sitting here just so locked in on Caleb Williams now because you see that Jordan Love is ahead, that Jared Goff is ahead, is this going to be the same Jared Goff next year when Ben Johnson leaves? Because it'll probably be the same Jordan Love because Matt LaFleur is in place and he's the right play caller. You see, Bears fans have a hard time listening to the radio and listening to the TV pundits that want to break these things down because guess what? You've been in this a lot longer than me. How many times have we been wrong about the quarterback position? I'll tell you how many. Because I'm a Bears fan. Guess what? We're going to support everybody who's back there every time. Every time. We've been wrong about the quarterback position. And you want to know why people are so in on Justin Fields, why people feel good about Justin Fields? Because the pundits, the people that do this for a living, he goes on to talk about that, right? All the analysts and different things like that. The people that do this for a living look at Caleb Williams and say, he can't miss. How many times are they wrong all the time? Because you know what none of the pundits were saying?
I'll say it for you. Justin Fields has already failed here. There's no point in continuing this experiment. You're beating the dead horse. I think you've gotten what you can already get out of Justin here, and he probably himself wants to go. The situation isn't going to be better for Justin in year 4. The damage to his drop back, his playing style, everything has been messed up between Getsy and Nagy. If you're still trying to have hope that Justin Fields is somehow going to make a miracle comeback, good luck.
In the draft, that an actual generational talent was taken? Patrick Mahomes is can't miss. Patrick Mahomes is a generational talent. Patrick Mahomes is the number 1 pick in the draft. Nobody was saying that. Now all of a sudden we see Caleb Williams, and as he's the next Patrick Mahomes, he's going to be the... Why do we trust that? Well, those are the guys that do it for a living. Those are the guys that get paid to do it. Those are the guys... Well, you know what else? You know the guys that I like to look at? The guys that played together. Dan Orlovsky's talked about Justin Fields. And he's talked about the system that Justin Fields was put in. And he said that, guess what? The system was garbage. It put the quarterback in a bad position. Richard Sherman talked about it from a defensive perspective. Can't figure out why we're not utilizing Justin Fields better. Lance Briggs talks about it every single week on the Chicago Bears podcast. Tune in with us Monday through Friday. Every single week. You have to put your players in the right position. Coaching matters. Players that played the game at the highest level on a consistent basis. You want to know one that's the best one? Players that are going against him right now. Look at Justin Fields. And they're not prompted. They're not being asked this. Everybody's got their own podcast now. Michael Parsons looks at Justin Fields and says if the Bears stick with him, they'll be in the NFC title game. He's probably the best defender in the NFL right now.
I'm glad you brought that up, Pat. Because guess what was the one thing that we heard for weeks when they were saying about Justin Fields? What was it, Green Bay or the team before that? What did they say? Well, all we have to do is make him play quarterback, and we could beat him. If he can't do the simple things right, I'm not saying that he can't do the explosive plays and run outside the pocket and run around all the field, but if he can't do the simple things of play from the pocket, the bare minimum, and deliver on time, not holding the ball past 3 seconds, then there's no hope for him because you can't live off of the maybes and the explosives because he's either going to get hurt and end his career early or he's just going to end up throwing interceptions.
Somebody who studies how to take quarterbacks down for a living is saying that. And so, excuse Bears fans who are looking at those guys, excuse Bears fans that are looking at the Bears locker room, excuse Bears fans who are listening to the people that play football, who are in support of Justin Fields, who it seems like there's an overwhelmingly higher number of them than there are who aren't in support, if they want to listen to the guys that did it at the highest level. See, this isn't even a Justin Fields versus K.
The same Bears fan that keep talking about that 1985 Super Bowl, the let's get our defense in, the same running backs all day, the same Bears fan that haven't won a goddamn thing since 1985. What's the point? You need to adapt to the modern era. Stop trying to beat the dead horse. You're still trying to do the same thing that got you the one Super Bowl, and look at you. You're the clown of the league. Green Bay owns you. Nobody takes you seriously. Nobody wants to come to play here. Wide receivers come to Chicago to die. This is the narrative around Chicago, and you're still trying to go with the same thing. And when you're trying to change and pivot off something that's not obviously working, but you're going to hold on to Justin Fields for dear life. Because what? Because he's had a couple of splash plays, 10-25 record as a starting quarterback. The teams that you beat have been backup quarterbacks, third rounders, worse, trash players. But we're going to keep them because that's Bears football. Mediocre at best.
Caleb Williams things. We're calling Bears fans idiots for not doing the homework. Well, these guys are the best of the best, and they're on TV, and they're doing the homework, and they support Justin. Keyshawn Johnson just came out. Jay Cutler, a quarterback who was here in Chicago, and let me tell you something, folks, knows a little bit of something about having a ton of offensive coordinators, not having a left tackle, having offensive line issues.
Yeah, great you mentioned that, Pat. Exactly. So what? We're going to go on to year 4 with his third offensive coordinator, a new scheme to learn. Still the same issues from the... Matter of fact, not even the same issues. He's gotten worse. He's regressed. It's worse than when he was a rookie. And you're still trying to keep going on with this narrative.
Is Jay the best decision maker? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that. I don't even think Jay was the best leader on that team. But you know what he does know? He knows a little something about going through being a quarterback in the city of Chicago. The biggest question that most Bears fans have is what's going to change if we go with Caleb Williams? Let me ask you something. When's the last time we had an offensive coordinator develop a quarterback? I'll tell you when. Never. You could bring up Sid Luckman, Jim McMahon. All right, okay. Yeah, Sid Luckman maybe, right? He was pretty elite. Jim McMahon was a good quarterback in Chicago. He was not the greatest quarterback of all time. Let's stop it. I love Jim McMahon. I love that he was a part of the 85 Bears. Maybe he would have ascended to that had injury not have taken that away from him. But let's stop with the whole, right, like that's the great. If Jim McMahon's the greatest that we've got, that tells you something about what we've got. Because that was a quarterback in an era in 1985 of football that does not exist anymore. When is the last time you felt that you had a coach in place who was going to develop the talent that you had on this team? Lovie Smith? I was 10 years old when Lovie got here. I'm 29. There's Bears fans that have been in these trenches a lot longer. You're one of them. So when we're sitting here talking about doing the homework is, can you change what the Chicago Bears have been? What gives you the best chance of doing that? I understand we want to see Jesus Christ walk in with a football in his hand and all of a sudden he's slinging it all over the field. He's making the players that you have work here no matter what the system is in place. When I saw a Hall of Fame quarterback...
And again, no, This is the same thing. Stop. At best, we're gonna get with Justin what Dallas and the Vikings have with Dak and Kirk. Just good enough, barely there, but can never get over the hump. It's mediocre at best. It's terrible when you need him to clutch up, and that's not what we want.
Back in Denver, not be able to do that. Talk about Russell Wilson. Oh, well, the coach was bad, and the situation was bad, the play calling was bad, and you mean all the things that Bears fans who were in favor of Justin are saying has happened here? Again, the excuses for Justin will be used as the reasons we need to give Caleb time. You want to know why? Because it's the same thing we said with Mitch Trubisky. The biggest sin we ever had with Mitch, I don't know if Mitch could have been a good quarterback or not. I don't. I don't believe that he can. I think he's an underachiever. I don't think he's that good. And he was a bad pick to make over Deshaun Watson. It's stupid, right? Stupid pick. But at the end of the day, instead of going out and saying, all right, we got our quarterback, now what are we going to do? Well, you know what we need to do? We probably need to protect this guy. That's an excuse, though, right? That's an excuse. Protecting the quarterbacks are excuses. Even though Jordan Love and Jared Goff are protected, those are excuses. Even though Kirk Cousins, for the most part, been pretty well protected. Those are excuses, though. Protecting the quarterback's an excuse. Doing the homework. Doing the homework tells me that Jared Goff without Ben Johnson was not the same Jared Goff with Ben Johnson. That means that coaching changed something. And don't give me he took a team to the Super Bowl, because I've been listening to you for a long time, Cap. That wasn't you 5 years ago before, when he was still on the Rams. He was a mediocre quarterback on a great team then, right? With one of the best play callers in the NFL. Is he better than anything we've had here? 100%. But you can't sit here and say, oh, well, now, he's phenomenal. It just happened. It took time. No, it took coaching. It took putting him in the right position. It took protecting him.
Okay. Are you willing to say in 2 years, when he's on his 5th year and it's still not working, that we still need to find the right coach in the OC? No, you're just going to be wasting time. It's time to move on. It's okay to say that Justin tried his best, but it's just not working, and we want better for ourselves as Bears fans.
This Jared Goff is not the same Jared Goff that was in LA. Well, Jordan Love's able to come in. He's doing it with the youngest team in the NFL. This is crazy. How are we going to see this? Because Matt LaFleur knows how to put his team in a good position. Oh, Luke Getsy calls the same system. Guess what? There's a lot of guys that have called the same system, and it didn't look the same. Matt Nagy calls the same system as Andy Reid. Who would you like to have? I can sit there and I can put anybody at a piano and tell them what notes to play. That doesn't mean that they can make music. And so when we're attacking Bears fans for not doing the homework, when we're attacking Bears fans who support Justin because NFL players that have played that position, NFL players who have been in that position, NFL players who have to defend that position, who have to know that position because they have to sit there and figure out what's this guy's tendencies going to be. When they look at the tape and they go, man, this kid's actually pretty good. I don't know why we're running 7 screen passes in this game. If we keep our foot on the gas here, we're...
And you can say the exact same. I'm not saying Getsy was good. He was terrible. He should have been fired. But at the same time, there are obvious plays showing Justin not throwing the ball, holding it. Should have ripped it. Should have threw it away. Instead, try to scramble and make something happen. That Vikings game when he got injured. Prime example this year.
We're in a very different position in this game. Those guys are in favor of Justin Fields. Excuse the portion of Bears fans who are a little jaded by the pundits that also told us Mitch Trubisky could be the future in Chicago. Excuse Bears fans who are also a little bit jaded by the pundits that have told us for years that, oh, this quarterback's perfect here. This quarterback should work here. Jay Cutler should be able to make this play. We've heard this our whole lives. Excuse us if we want to look to the players that are playing the game currently and the players that have played the game, the players that are in the locker room with Justin Fields, DJ Moore, Jalen Johnson just did an interview. Excuse us if we look at those guys and we go, man, you know, they
Yeah, and you know what? They get paid anyway, so no matter who's at quarterback, they're gonna still go out there and perform.
feel like Justin's pretty good. I think they're probably a pretty good judge of talent. And here's the thing at the end of the day. It's up to Ryan Poles. It's all up to Ryan Poles. If Ryan Poles decides that Justin Fields isn't the answer, I'm riding with Ryan Poles. If Ryan Poles decides that Caleb Williams isn't the answer, I'm riding with Ryan Poles. And so I implore Bears fans, yes, do the homework, but trust the GM. Because when we talk about it, we're afraid to strive for greatness. What makes us so sure that greatness isn't already here?
Greatness is 10-25.
All of a sudden, when it doesn't work out, now last season comes into play. Now his numbers from last season, this guy's been this for years. Well, yeah, he came in a situation where his left tackle was 40 years old and got killed.
So we're gonna take 7 games against trash teams this year. Not even their most. He beat only 2 starting quarterbacks, Jared Goff and Kyler Murray, and one was in the Cardinals are trash. Lions are in the playoffs, and that's it. We're willing to bet the future of the franchise the next possibly 4 to 6 years on a maybe.
Where last season the team basically said give up, and now you have this season where it starts to move in the right direction. We have 2 games that we feel like Justin Fields performed really well in and should have won, but coaching decisions made the difference there. We could be finishing this season 9-7 instead of 7-9, and yet because those are the ifs, we don't want to have that conversation. That's all I'm saying. Let's not attack Bears fans for believing in the guy that's under center, because guys that have done this also believe in the guy that's under center. Guys that have done this also look at the guy that's under center and feel really good about it.
Yeah, I would feel good too if I could get an easy win, because I know the quarterback that I'm going against. You know, the answer to beating him is to make him play quarterback. This is ridiculous. I know he's speaking for that section of Bears fans, but that section of Bears fans need to go and lay down with that 1985 title. It's worthless. It means nothing. We're in 2024. Time to go modern. Time to be better. Be better, Bears fans. Want for more.
There's a bunch of pundits that are all in on Caleb Williams that have never taken a snap of football. And I'm one of them. Right? Like, I'm one of the talking heads now. I've never taken an NFL snap of football in my life. But let's not attack Bears fans and the Bears fan base because they see something in Justin Fields that they want to hold on to. I've said my piece. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
I mean, what more is there to say? We'll find out come the draft. Well, I'm just going to say now, the Bears need to draft Caleb Williams for their future. Otherwise, Poles and Eberflus will be gone, and we start the process right over again. But that's the Chicago Bears way, mediocrity. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one.